hello, everyone. Hello, guys. How are you guys on today? Guess what? Guess what time it is? It is story time with Miss Doris, and I have 3 awesome short stories for us on today. Hello, Miss Nisha. Hello, Royce. How are you on today? I hope you're having an awesome, blessed day on today. Today is Wednesday, and guess what? On Wednesdays are our Christian days. I have 3 awesome stories for us on today. But before we get started, I'd like to go ahead on and greet everyone all over the world. I'd like to say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some good night. Someone is going to bed somewhere in the world, but guess what? You are just in time for story time with Miss Doris, and I'm so excited for reading you a story on today. Today's story we're going to be reading is Moses and the Burning Bush. It's the first story we're going to read, and the second one is going to be the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. And the third one we're reading is Moses receives the 10 Commandments. Yes, Moses received the 10 Commandments. And guess what? Today's color is going to be, well, our guest Muppet friend. Hello, So-So. How are you? Hello, Miss Ebony. Hi, So-So. How are you on today? Our Muppet guest friend is going to be Mr. Officer. Let's see what his name is. I wouldn't give him a name. Our guest is Puppet Guest is Mr. Officer, and today's color is the color blue. Today's color is the color blue. Today's color is the color blue. So I'd like to give shouts out to you. Hello, Shakana. Hello, Shaquavia. Welcome to Storytime with Miss Doris. I'm so excited to be reading you guys a story on today. Well, guess what? Let's just go ahead and get ready for that story time song. I know you guys love that story time song, but remember, when we're doing that story time song, make sure that you are practicing safety first. Wow. Well, let's see. Yep, I am wearing blue today. Thank you so much. So hey, let's get ready with that story time song. Remember, practice safety first, because I know it really gets you moving. Wow, there it goes. There it goes. Story time. I love that song. It really gets you moving. Story time. Shakana's dancing to the story time song. Hey, Shakana. She'll read to you, sing to you, tell you all just what to do. Sing to you, tell you all just what to do. It's story time, So-So. I know you're ready. Royce, are you ready for story time? I know you are. It's story time. Story time. It's story time, guys. And I'm so excited to be reading you a book on today. Sing to you, tell you all just what to do. Wow, you guys were awesome. I heard you singing really loud. Guess what? Let's get ready for our story. Let me turn the music down just a tad bit. Well, I have this huge book again. Tommy D. Paolo's Book of Bible Stories. So in this book, we are reading 3 stories on today. I'm so excited. Moses and the Burning Bush. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he had led the flock too far aside. Let me turn the music down just a tad more bit. Okay. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the desert to come to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses, do not come closer. Moses, and Moses said, here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you're standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering too. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, and the land flowing with milk and honey. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Storytime with Miss. Sing to you, tell you all just what to do. This is a huge book. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you, that is, I who sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on his mountain. Moses said to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generations to generations. But I know the king of Egypt will not let you go unless the mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let them go. Moses said to the Lord, O Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past, nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. The Lord said to him, who gave him mouth? Who gave him his mouth? Who make him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. But Moses said, O Lord, please send someone else to do it. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother Aaron and the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and his heart will be glad even when he sees you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help you both to speak and will teach you what to do. But take his staff in your hand so you can perform miraculous signs with it." Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, "Let me go back to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive." Jethro said, "Go, and I will wish you well, Egypt. Now the Lord said to Moses in Midian, 'Go back to Egypt, for all the men who wanted to kill you are dead.'" So Moses took his wife and sons and put them on a donkey and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. Wow, there he goes, right there with the staff of God in his hand. Wow, that was an awesome short story. The next story we're going to be reading is the Israelites cross the Red Sea. Even after God had sent horrible plagues, Pharaoh would not let the Hebrew people leave Egypt. But when God sent the 10th plague, which killed the firstborn male of every family, including Pharaoh's family, Pharaoh told Moses and the people to hurry and leave his country. When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about them and said, "What have we done? We have let the Israelites go and have lost their services." So he had his chariot made ready and took his army with him. As Pharaoh approached the Israelites, he looked up, and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Was it because there was no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, 'Leave us alone. Let us serve the Egyptians'?" It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. Wow. Story time with Miss. Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring to you today. The Egyptians you see today will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Then the angel of God, who had been traveling in front of the Israel army, withdrew and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved from in front and stood behind them, coming between the armies of Egypt and the Israel. Throughout the night, the cloud brought darkness to the one side and light to the other side, and neither went near the other all night long. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on the dry land, with a wall of water on their right and on their left. Story time with Miss. It's story time. Story time with Miss. She'll read to you, sing to you, tell you all just what to do. The Egyptians pursue them all, and all the Pharaoh horses and the chariots, and the horsemen follow them in the sea. During the last watch of the night, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and the cloud of the Egyptians' army, and threw it into confusion. He made the wheels of their chariots come off, so that they had difficulty driving. And the Egyptians said, "Let's get away from the Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen." Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and at daybreak the sea went back to its place. The Egyptians were fleeing toward it, and the Lord swept them into the sea. The water flowed back and covered the chariots and horsemen, the entire army of Pharaoh that had followed the Israelites into the sea. Not one of them survived. That day the Lord saved the Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. And when the Israelites saw the great power the Lord had displayed against the Egyptians, the people feared the Lord and put their trust in him and in Moses, his servant. Story time with Miss. The last story we're reading is Moses receives the 10 Commandments. In the 3rd month after the Israelites left Egypt, on the very day they came to the desert of Sinai, after they set out from Rephidim, they entered the desert of Sinai, and the Israel camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. On the morning of the 3rd day, there was thunder and lightning with a thick cloud over the mountain, and a very, very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in camp trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace. The whole mountain trembled violently, and the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. Then Moses spoke the voice of God, answered him. She'll read to you, sing to you. The Egyptians pursued them all. The Pharaoh's horses and chariots and the horsemen followed them into the sea. During the last watch of the night, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and the cloud at the Egyptian army and threw it into confusion. He made the wheels of the chariot come off so that they had difficulty driving. And the Egyptians... Oh, I'm reading backwards. Sorry, wrong page. I thought I was reading the wrong page. And God spake all these words. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in heaven above, or on earth beneath, or in waters below. You shall not misuse the name of your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Honor your mother and your father, so that your days, your life long in the land of the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. Don't take anything that doesn't belong to you. You shall not give false testimonies against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant, or maid servant, his ox, or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Story time. It's story time. When the people saw the thunder and lightning and heard the trumpet and saw the mountain in smoke, they trembled with fear. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay there, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and commands I have written for their instructions." When Moses went up on the mountaintop, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountains, and on the 7th day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. Then Moses entered the cloud as he went up the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Story time. The end. Wow, that was 3 awesome, beautiful, beautiful stories telling us about the 10 commandments of Moses going up on Mount Sinai, meeting with God, and the Israelites cross the Red Sea, and Moses and the burning bush. I enjoyed reading you guys these 3 short Christian stories on today. Remember, if you're not feeling well, always let someone know that you're not feeling well, and guess what? They will take really good care of you. And when you're out and about playing with your friends, make sure that you are still practicing safety first, that you're still sanitizing and washing your hands. If you don't have wipes to wash your hands, you can always use hand sanitizer or soap and water. But just make sure that you are sanitizing your hands at all times. I want you guys to enjoy your summer vacation. Don't forget, when you're out in public, make sure that you are still practicing safety first, and you are still wearing your mask. Don't take your mask off, guys, unless someone tells you to. You guys were awesome. I love you guys. And remember, don't forget to recommend our Storytime page with your family and friends. Remember, if you're not smiling on today, Miss Doris and Mr. Officer, hello, sir, has a smile just for you on today. Take care, guys. Have an awesome, blessed day. Love you all, and God bless.